Okay, jury night in Nacogdoches, and even though I'm in hometown, I feel like I am in a little enemy territory here at the Holiday Inn, Sam Houston State in town. And our interviews with the coaches and players from around the league continue. Ashley Lewis is going to be with us tonight before the Bearkats get into watching the World Series and playing all sorts of card games and stuff. So, Ashley, I'm sorry I'm taking you away from that, but thanks for being willing to sit down and chat.
Of course, thank you.
Let me start off by just asking you a little bit about last year. You know, last year, Player of the Year, Taylor Cunningham. I mean, that everybody knew about Taylor, and your offense was sort of geared around her. This year, offense way more spread out with several of you. That sort of a change. When did it kind of hit you that you were going to be asked to shoulder a little bit more of the load this year?
I mean, I think really knowing how big of an offensive threat Taylor was for our team, and losing her in the spring, we worked on it a lot. I mean, we only had, 8 players in the spring, so we did a lot of offensive reps, and I never really I expected it, but didn't let it affect me, knowing that I was going to have a big load this year. But I think it's great that we have so many across the board that can get the job done.
Playing with her during your first 2 years at Sam Houston, just such an amazing player, weapon, offense and defense. What do you think is one of the main things you learn from playing alongside Taylor?
I think just knowing that if you have self-confidence, you're going to get it done. Because if you need to look to someone to get self-confidence, it was her. Because she knew she was going to get it done, and she definitely showed that.
From freshman to sophomore year, playing time for you increased, on the floor a lot more for Brenda Gray's club. But what would you say would be the main improvement you made from sophomore year to junior year to be able to handle that load?
I think just mentality. It's all in your mind. I mean, it's a game of errors, but as long as you don't let the errors affect you too much, then you'll be good.
One of the things statistically that's been higher for you is dig count, already doubled to double the digs per set. Did you focus any in preseason or back during the offseason, any on floor defense a little bit, knowing that you're going to play 6?
Absolutely. I mean, I played a lot of right back last year, and now I've moved into the middle back, and I think more balls seem to come to me in the middle back this year, but we also did work on a lot of being able to read and run through balls and that sort of thing a lot in spring.
Coach Gray, when I walked into the hotel lobby, started chatting about the team and about how young this team is. Of the 17 gals that you have on your roster, 12 of them are freshmen or transfers. Just a few of you upperclassmen or seniors. So let's talk about leadership then. With such a young club and you being a junior, you kind of felt a little bit more responsibility to take over that leadership role.
In a sense, yeah, but in the way we lead to where we want everyone to feel like they have the same importance on the team. We don't want it to be like different tiers or anything, because everyone is going to go out there, get the job done. It doesn't matter whether you're a freshman, sophomore, junior, or senior on the court. So
a lot of those freshmen have been integral to your success, and we'll see them on the floor tomorrow night against SFA. I do want to ask you about your 2 seniors, though, and just sort of describe. They're both back row players. Let's start with your libero, Addison Miller. She's gotten several accolades this year. Just kind of talk me through sort of her back row game and the stability she gives you guys on defense.
Yeah, she's definitely one of our pillars. I mean, our offense has to start with a great pass, and she's the one that's going to give us that 3 option all the time, whether it's in serve receive or even, I mean, you don't stat options on digs, but if you did, they would mostly be 3 option digs. And I mean, her voice is also really well known, and we hear it a lot on the court, like where to hit, all that. So that helps too.
And also, sort of in a defensive specialist role during some of her time, Ashley Traylor also serving for you guys well too, up there in the ace count for you guys. She's sometimes not a player that surfaces at the top, but if you watch you guys play, she's very integral to you guys too.
She's very good too. I mean, our seniors are both very vital roles. They play very vital roles in our team, and I think they're the ones that really keep us together. They're really positive. They lead in the right way. We all accept what they say really well.
Going back to sort of an increased tally count for you, you come into the match tomorrow night against Stephen F. Austin with 955 attacks for the year. I went out and checked, and that's in the top 40 in the nation in terms of swings. So last year, 6.2 attacks per set. This year, over 11. Okay. Anything you had to do early on in the year, just in terms of maintenance, in terms of keeping yourself fresh, Did your body kind of react well to that many more swings? And as the season's gone on, have you kind of felt like you've kind of gotten in a groove in terms of being able to rebound from match to match?
Absolutely. I feel like I'm in a great groove. I mean, we really focus on keeping ourselves in great shape on and off the court, so I think that really helps in that role as well.
Anything in terms of just physical conditioning that was different for you from last year to this year?
No, not really. I mean, I'm always going to be the workhorse. I'm always going to put in that work outside of team settings and all of that, just to make sure I'm ready whenever it comes match time.
Tomorrow night we'll probably see 2 clubs on the floor that run 2 setters primarily. Last year, Jacqueline Ward primarily 1 setter, 5-1 type setup. This year, you know, you've got both Miles and Yonda, who's a freshman, who's doing the setting for you guys. Talk about the differences between those two, advantages of the 6-2 you feel like for this year?
I think the advantage of the 6-2 is definitely what sticks out for us, and that's why we're in it, because we have such great pin hitters, and that's really what's keeping us in that 6-2 right now, and the fact that both of our setters run a great court.
Now, you'd hit off of Miles a little bit last year because she would get in matches. Sort of compare and contrast sort of the styles you see between Madeline and between Yonda.
I think their styles are really similar. They both run a pretty quick offense, and that's what this team likes, so I think it works well with both of them.
All right, let's talk a little bit about, she's over there in the middle of the card game, Coach Gray. You can't have a Sam Houston SFA match without talking about the 2 head coaches. Top 11 all time. We'll get into it on the ESPN matched broadcast tomorrow night. Just talk me through a little bit. I've known Brenda for a long time, but what do you see as a player are the main advantages for playing for Coach Gray?
She's been around the game so long and knows so much, and because of that, she knows what it takes to win, and I think that's the main thing that we stick with all the time.
Is this, I'm assuming it is this typical for you guys? I mean, you guys can't see on the camera the scene here in the lobby. You know, of course, we've got Game 7 of the World Series going on tonight. Everybody cheering for Houston, I would hope. And then card games and everything. Is this sort of a typical scene, Coach Gray, in the middle of this a lot?
Yes, we are big on having fun off the court and then taking that fun into a more serious level on the court, but also having fun with it as well.
During your 2 previous years at Sam Houston, sort of your rise to responsibility, I think, has paralleled the team. The first year that you were on the club at Sam Houston, conference tournament 2017, lost in the first round like we did, and then last year made it to the second round and got bounced by UCA, who eventually was in the championship with us. Has the team talked about that progression, that idea of you've been a consistent participant in this tournament, but elevating from year to year, sort of this year goal being in the championship?
Yes, of course. That's always going to be our goal. And I mean, if we believe that we can get there, then I think that's what's going to be our main starting point to lead us to actually being there.
So when the schedule came out and we all saw Halloween night rivalry, I mean, that's just, I remember seeing the draft of the schedule and seeing that and circling that and thinking, okay, that's just going to be crazy when Sam Houston comes to town on Halloween. What do you think the characteristics are of this team? You talk about light in here, but tomorrow night, you know, raucous, a lot of students in there, Halloween costumes. What do you think the characteristics are for your club that'll be able to sort of handle that environment?
I think we've really focused on being able to put ourselves in situations like that and really expect those types of situations. So I think when we come together and we really focus, we talked about it yesterday, to have one heartbeat, and whenever we have that in chaotic situations, I think it'll really help us excel.
One thing I always ask players who come in to Nacogdoches that have been around the league a little bit and have played at all the Southland schools is to kind of think in their mind right quick about visiting gyms. Of course, you guys play in your version of Johnson Coliseum, bigger arena, nice arena. I think some of the viewers know that's the actual arena that my wife graduated in. My wife's a Sam Houston graduate, so I got a little bit of mixed blood in my family too. My dad's a Sam Houston graduate. But as you think about the different arenas, are there any that stick out? Are there any that when you're away from home you think that are kind of favorites to you, or favorite cities to visit on the road in the Southland?
I think the gym here really sticks out just because of the crowd is so into it. No matter what day of the week, who they're playing, they're always there, and I think that's always the thing that sticks out to me.
The other one that I've been hearing lately for cities is New Orleans, although that gym doesn't stick out to me, but the chance to go to New Orleans. Okay, let's wrap this up with this. Let's talk a little bit about what your interests are off the court. So where is Ashley Lewis in 2 years, in 5 years, in graduation? Just talk a little bit about the academic pursuits. What are you interested in aside from volleyball in terms of academics at Sam?
Well, I'm in a marketing major right now, and I just recently added a finance minor as well. So I'm not really exactly sure what I want to do whenever I graduate, but I think with those two, I can pretty much go any route I would want to go.
Awesome. And Ashley's from my neck of the woods. She went to Langham Creek High School, which was built during the time that I was at Spring High School. So I was raised close to you. Ashley Lewis, second in the Southland Conference in points per set, second in kills per set. We'll see her tomorrow night. Ashley, I'll let you get to your card game. Thanks for being willing to sit down and chat.
Thank you so much.